Okay, now then I think it's working. This is, I think it's working. This is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I'm trying to do this video. I've done several, and I realize that probably there's not that much cohesion in the last couple, because it's hard to put together and make someone understand. It's spanned my lifetime what's been done and being done. I'm simply wanting, my real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 42 and brought over to Moulton, Alabama. And it was, I was dropped off there. It's like a pigsty where I grew up, and they gave me the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married a Childers. And both twins, Carl and Peggy, were already dead. So I grew up being told that was my name. And let me say this, I did a book, I'd worked for doctors, and I was living in Marietta, Georgia. And in 77 and 78, I did a medical malpractice book called MD, A License to Kill. I was living at Moonraker Apartments. So there's a point, if this is all told, to what I'm saying here. Larry Flint was shot in nearby Lawrenceville, Georgia, and the person that shot him and his attorney, killed his attorney, was programmed to shoot him. I did the book, and it was about Dr. Larry McDonald, was one of the cases, and Warren and Rosina Matthews, who were murdered, and Gene Srokerman, who was murdered at his hospital. Now, Warren and Rosina Matthews were forensic pathologists there. But they were killed because of what they were doing. Information they'd found out there. And so I'm writing about Dr. McDonald, and I had antifreeze put in me April the 1st of 80, and just prior to that, June the 23rd of 79, I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney, William Harper, out of Atlanta, and it was a response to FBI, like the police, turn it over to be prosecuted or whatever. Well, the letter stated that it was an ongoing investigation, national security involved. And I had, let me say this, me as well as my husband had been down on Peachtree Street to FBI headquarters many times, or several times. And, then you think they're going to protect you, or if they can. I thought it's because of the book, and I'm rambling again to some people if it's just too hard to put in a video. But even with a letter from the FBI, let me say that, I had the antifreeze put in the April Fool Day of 80. I'm slam dunked around. I should have died. Everything illegal done in the book. Nothing in my life, it's a mess of being laws broken. Nobody's paid for it. I can't sue. I can't even stop it. Okay, I find out, I was flown up to Larry Flint's, by the way, and the first time I'd ever met Flint, the only thing I knew, he'd been shot in Lawrenceville while I was doing the book, and 78. Now then, Larry McDonald plane shot down. It's a passenger plane, KAL007, August the 31st of 83. All the passengers aboard died. There's questions about if Larry McDonald was still on the plane. Nixon was taken off in Juneau, Alaska. But anyway, it went down and shot down by the Soviet jet. Now then, it gets to be too much, like the woman that I was taken to Moulton, Alabama, Lina Dempsey, the mother of the twins, who I was told was my mother, sick woman she was. She was actually with George Wallace when he was shot in Laurel, Maryland. And excuse me, but I don't think George Wallace liked her at all. She was nothing but a cold-blooded killer. But there's so many that you can't say it's a coincidence. It's too much tie-ins. Because George Wallace, the person that programmed him, was programmed to shoot him. So now that I want to get to, I worked for Fred Simpson after I had the antifreeze put in me, and Literally, I worked for Doyle Duke, so you're getting into things that form patterns to later me finding out about being Margaret Ann Windsor and kidnapped from Buckingham Palace in 42 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given another name. Now then you get into psychological warfare had been waged on me and my sons. I wrote about mind control in 77, 78, hoping to get the book published. Instead, it just evolved into later the antifreeze, and later across the state line working for the district attorney Simpson, then living at Warren House, and next job was for Doyle Duke, or Doyle Duke, the Duke of Windsor. The Simpson was supposed to have married my dad, which was a lie, double married Simpson. And Warren House is a clue to the Warren Commission, the cover-up. Because in my kidnapping, I found out about my kidnapping in 83. And the British told me, by the way. Joseph Kennedy, the father, had been made ambassador by Roosevelt. He was part of my kidnapping. He and my Uncle George, who's illegal, and Elizabeth. So I'm giving you this in a 99-year seal put on my dad's illegal takedown. He was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Madison, Wisconsin. So the whole thing was a lie. It should concern people that this has been such a cover-up. The media has covered it up. They're controlled by the New World Order, the Illuminati. Elizabeth and Charles are members. So I'm 75 years old. My jobs were gotten to, and I came up to Roanoke, Virginia. I never knew I'd end up here. My point is, when I came here, I couldn't get any jobs then. I was shut down. You have to have jobs to get money, to get a place to live. I was run around and blocked, and the FBI, I've been told by police, and I mean, I can put it together. It's hard for me to put it all on the video, but the FBI, I've been told, planned my itinerary without me knowing it, like 5 years ahead. I was told at Warren House by Carl Smith, who lived down in the apartment beneath me, and he was FBI, and he'd come over 5 years prior from Atlanta. So my tracks were laid down. Now then, this whole thing about programming people, mind control, they have gotten this to where you think it's not easy to, the programming can give a false police report, your behavior's modified, etc. People don't want to accept the fact that mind control exists. So it's very scary. It's much easier than people think for the cops or someone to just make up something and go down and sign a warrant to have you arrested and locked up. And everything now, the shooters at Aurora and Fort Hood, he was a psychiatrist and finished school at Tech right next to me, Virginia Tech, with the 33 shooters, April 16th of '07. Those were programmed and done in patterns. Now then, you see why I'm afraid. I've told this, and if it weren't done in patterns, you can't prove mind control. And I'm afraid that I'm not being able to put this together so you can understand it without sounding rambling. Anyway, mind control was used in a long string of murders over the years. It went back to before I did the book in 1970. So it was deliberately done by the agency, if you want to call it MJ, what? Now then, MJ Ultra, I can't, now that I'm getting tired, I've done this so long, and I'm really not feeling good anyway. I've got arthritis and hurt so bad, but nobody wants to hear that either. Now then, I'm going to get to the point, and I hope I haven't tuned everybody out. It sounds like I'm being redundant. I want to show you what they started doing up on the Appalachian Trail. I went there, froze, starved, the whole bit. Nobody wanted to help me. In fact, they were told not to help me. And I could go on. I put this on prior tapes. They were afraid to help me. And then the agency that's